track how you use your time for a week and look at the hotspots, the areas where you spend more time that you didn't mean to, and equally where there's areas that you wanted to and didn't quite realise it. Hi, I'm Marisha Trembetska from I Love Your Creativity and Make Money podcast. And this week's podcast is about taking time out for 1 week and track how you use your time. Now, I originally started a podcast called Love Your Creativity. The Make Money bits added in 2020. So my Love Your Creativity podcast was back in 2013 when I was going through a huge upheaval in my life. And I remember even now, 7 years ago, doing this exercise and talking about it, about tracking my time for a week. And what I'd realised, because I just moved somewhere temporarily before I could move somewhere else, and I was kind of rejigging my life in many ways, having been through some pretty traumatic things, which I don't need to go into right now. But I tracked my time for a week, literally like what I was doing kind of every hour and where I was spending time. I realised I was spending way too much time cooking. My God, I can cook up a storm. I think it's being part Polish, being Cancerian. I think it's like, and generally I live on my own, so I still manage to cook up an incredible storm for the person of one. And of course, at the moment during COVID, I'm not entertaining in the same way. So this is a really valuable exercise I suggest you have a go at. First of all, this is kind of this podcast I'm releasing kind of the week after the Making a Plan podcast. So go back and listen to that if you haven't. But the idea is that even if you haven't made a plan of where your life is, just simply track. You can do it on your phone, in notes, or on a piece of paper, whatever works for you. You can get excited and do it on some kind of software. Really don't need to, an Excel sheet. Just write down, okay, got up at 9, took till 10 o'clock to kind of start doing the first thing. However your day looks, spent 2 hours watching some home DIY program, spent 15 minutes on the phone to your mom, all that kind. Just track what you do for a week. Don't get like judgmental about it. Self-compassion is very important. I did do a podcast a couple of weeks ago about self-compassion that I think is really worth listening to because it really can help. But just have a look at where you're spending your time and don't judge it. And then at the end of the week, add it up. How many hours did I spend on Blur? Oh, that kind of stuff. Now, obviously, spending time with family and friends in a social distance way is important, but you can Zoom and call them and just see how you spent your time. And then there's a second part of this, which is where are the hotspots? Where are the areas that you feel you want to do more of, but actually you're not really actually doing what you're saying? So, for example, they did a study of teenagers and rated the happiness levels of certain activities. And they found out with this pretty large group of teenagers that they were 13% happier when they watched telly. Yet they were in the 35% and 45% range when they were either spending time doing hobbies or equally they were playing sport and seeing friends. So obviously, like nearly 3 times more happy by doing those kind of things than actually watching telly. And yet the teenagers were spending 4 hours a day on average watching TV. Obviously TV or streaming as it works. Just because it's easy. We all tend to do what's easy and more passive. And at the moment, I think it's really important that we're all find ways to be as happy as possible. We all have a responsibility to try and find the joy and amp that in our lives because it's otherwise very difficult. So just be really aware of where do you waste the most time and what do you want to really amp up in your life. Where are the areas I keep thinking maybe I might start dressmaking again, because obviously I have people who kind of design my costumes for my shows, but I used to make some mad costumes and things. I'm really missing it. So I'm a terrible dressmaker, but you've got to start somewhere, right? My mother's brilliant, but obviously I can't see her. And actually my sewing machine's at my parents', as is the dressmaking doll. So I might just have to buy new stuff or go outside and get them to put it into the car or something, I don't know. But just see where you're wasting the most time. So there we are. That's my podcast for this week. So track your time, write it down for a week, look at the hot spots where you're not bringing it where you want to. It's really important to look at the areas where you're spending too much time where you don't feel that's part of your plan. This is not me judging how much time you spend doing anything, but it's about what is your plan of where you want to spend your time versus how you actually are, and where do you feel you waste the most time. So there we are. So my name, as I said, is Marisha Trembetska for Love Your Creativity and Make Money. I'm an actor, filmmaker. I've toured internationally with my self-created shows. I've also talked even as a TEDx on getting things done. And obviously I talk about making creative work and also making money out of it. As miraculously, I keep managing to do it. But so much of it is about your mindset and keeping yourself up and focused forward, which is why I think at the moment, while I'm recording a lot of these episodes, kind of in the autumn of 2020, I think the mental health aspect of what we do is just so important. So if you do want to work with me either as a Singing Psychic Unique branded event, or me chatting about this stuff, or even me as an actress, you can get hold of me, my agent, and book that way. Or contact me on @MarishaT, Twitter, on Instagram, Marisha Trembetska on Facebook, all the good stuff. Because I always book my Singing Psychic work directly, particularly at the moment. So have a great week ahead, and I will speak to you soon. And if you haven't, do go back and listen to the self-compassion one of a couple of weeks ago, because I think it's really important. Bye.